Hi, this is Don Mays from Mascidon, and today I want to go over using Boyum to import documents. And my specific example today will be sales orders, but it could be pretty much any of the marketing documents that you may need to import. So we'll go through that today, and that's going to use the Boyum UFFI Universal Function, which is essentially a C# program that allows us to go in and import any marketing document. So one of the reasons that we're going to do this is we need to go in and import sales orders. And why do we import sales orders? I'll give you an example. I had a customer that every 4 to 6 weeks would get a 300-line sales order from a customer. It took them roughly the whole morning, maybe a little longer, depending on how many items there really were, to key in that sales order because they got it on paper. Then they had to go and, as part of their process, double checking and triple checking to make sure that they got the order right. Obviously, it's a big order. They wanted to make sure that they could get the information to them quickly. If we did this same kind of a project in using Boyum and UFFI to import the sales order, the customer could send us a JSON file or an XML file. We would take that file, we would dump it into the work folder for the Boyum UFFI Universal Function. And on a scheduled basis, let's say once every 10 minutes, the UFI would run. It would import the sales order. The sales order would be in the system, use B1 print and delivery, and the acknowledgement would go to the customer. The customer would look at it and say, boy, they got it in awful quick today, and it would be processed. So what we're going to do today is to go in and walk through the process of setting up the UFFI and go through how to use it effectively. And again, my example is only with sales orders, but any document could be imported in that same manner. And then I have two versions of the UFFI. One is for XML files and one is for JSON files. So without further ado, let's go into the demonstration. Thank you. When we get a JSON file, the first thing we need to go and do is figure out what fields we can import. So either XML or JSON. The minimum fields we require is the card code or an alias for the card code, the item code or the BP catalog number, and quantity required. If you don't have these, you don't have a sales order. The optional fields, there's a whole list of them here, and we could add to this list. It will include usually defined fields. Some of the fields are ignored, like price. The SAP customer item combination pricing will override any price that's imported. So those are the fields. The same thing with the due date. The due date might be created and maintained within the SAP saving of the sales order. So those are the first file requirements that are there. I've copied the XML file that we want to import over to Microsoft Edge so we can see it quite clearly. This is the sales order for Amazon, and it has a purchase order 1238834. It's got no ship to code. It does have a ship via UPS ground, has an email, phone contact. It has a one-time shipping address, and it has two items, A001 and A004, quantity 7 and quantity 2 respectively. So this is a format. It's one format that we can accept. So let's go on to the next place, and we are going to go in and place this into the work folder for the UFFI. Okay, here's the Boyum UFFI. In this case, it's code IMP10, and the remarks say that it imports sales orders into SAP from an XML file. If you look down at the bottom of the body of the Universal function is C# information, but the work folder shows what directory we want to go in and place the XML file in order for it to get processed. And then the success folder says, where am I going to put the information if it is successfully imported? Or the error folder shows us where we want to put the errors if there are errors in the load. And then there's always a log folder as well. So if we do that, I'll show you the process of placing it in the work folder and then creating a sales order. Okay, this is the file that we had in the same file, sales order test, that we had in the Microsoft Edge. Oops. And we copied it over to the work directory identified. It's in import UFFI. That's where the work folder is for the UFFI. I've created an import menu, which is basically just using the add and edit menus to go in and show me the exact ones that we got. So here for import XML is IMP-10, which we showed you earlier. So right now I've got a file in that directory, and what I want to do is click import. Okay, now we go back in and we look at the sales order import, and we can see 2 items are imported, 7 and 2 quantities, the PO number. It has gone in as unapproved. I've got flags set up in the system that say, do we want to set it up as approved or unapproved? And in general, I've set them up as unapproved so that somebody can physically look at them before they accept the sales order. And then once it's been approved, then the acknowledgement would go out automatically. So that's the sales order import. It's as simple or as difficult as that. Okay, after we've imported that document, we went to the success folder, and it goes by date. So on 1/15, it shows us the same exact file that's in the success folder. We go back to here and go look at the log folder. We can also see that at 6:39, this folder had a log. And if we open that with Notepad, we can see that is a success. Okay? In the same manner we did XML files, we can actually do JSON files too. So I've got one right here that I want to show you. I'll just show you the file first. It's a typical JSON file. It's again for an Amazon, 2 parts. It could have any number of parts, but 2 parts is what I've chosen. I've stored it in the same directory as I processed the XML files. And if I look at the actual JSON UFFI, you can see that the work directory is the same. Now, normally, if you were going to accept both XML and JSON files, you would have a different work directory for each one of them, so that you wouldn't get any confusion as to what gets updated and imported. Okay, so then I go back over to here, and I click the import the JSON. And I got ORD5, which is the file, and I got 2 and 4. So I've imported everything that I needed to. Okay? Also, in the opening and closing remarks, this is both true for XML and for JSON, is I've got the contact information that was stored in the file. I've also got the actual JSON file or XML file stored in the details here too. So you can always look at the record itself and find the information. To show you some of the versatility, we have Amazon here, the business partner. We have down here in the alias name shop. We also have, if I go to the BP catalog, I've got A004, could be entered as A0004A, either way because it's in the catalog. Okay, so we've got those two things, and we also have addresses. So here's a Detroit, Michigan address, so we can use a ship to instead of a one-time address. So if I go back to my XML file and just open that with Notepad so we can see it, we can see that I've got a PO. I'll just go ship to 0115, and in here I've got the ship to code of the 876560, and then I have A004A down in here as opposed to A004. So we'll just save that. And that's the file that's in here now. And now if we go to import XML, go to the last document. There's the PO again. And there's our ship to address that came in from the code as opposed to from the one-time ship to address. And we've got the A0004, not the 4A part. So that's a little bit of the versatility of the software. In the Word document that we have that's associated with the Boyum UFFI, I've also included a number of other things. A project plan for implementing sales orders importing from multiple customers, because you want to do this not just for one customer, but for as many as you can convince that this is the best way to go. Then I've got another section in the document that talks about UFFI normalization, how to use your XML or JSON rather than mine. Because I've got certain fields that I've used, names of my XML tags, things like that. You may use different ones. And then I also describe how to use UDF fields and how to import those. And then I've got B1 print and delivery to further automate the whole order acknowledgments process, from the approval process to sending and emailing out the acknowledgments to the customer. I also describe how to use the scheduler and the batch runner in association with the UFFI so you can automate the processes. And then I've got a series of actual programs that basically say, analyze your data and say, which customers should you talk to about implementing order imports, because some you're doing a lot of work with and others you're doing a very little bit of work with. You want to get the most bang for your buck. Then I also included in there, I have a test plan for and a certification process, so that when you get a new customer and they send you an XML that might be a little different than what you're used to, how does this get implemented? So that's all in the Word documents associated with the UFFI. And thank you for listening to this video. And if you have any questions, or if you want to get the Word document, I can send you the Word document that shows how to use Boyum to import sales orders. Just give me a call or send me an email, and I'd be happy to accommodate you. Thank you.